What is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl Games podcast. I'm Amber P.
I'm Alexis Adams.
It's been a minute, y'all. What's up? Life's been busy. We've been here, there, everywhere. It's almost Olympia time, and we have no topic for y'all today. We're just gonna sit here and talk because y'all seem to really like that. So we can just talk about updates. So, are we 5 or 4 weeks out from the Olympia?
3.
Hold. That was fast. That was really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week was 4. Okay.
Yeah, it's like actually 3 weeks today. So things are rolling. We've been hitting like lows consistently. I hit a low weight yesterday and then I'm up like less than half a pound today, but I did train yesterday.
Mhm.
Um, and when I woke up this morning, I had to get out of bed when my alarm went off because I had posing clients and needed to get my stuff done. But I could have slept longer. So I'm just gonna have to like keep making sure that I'm on top of my recovery so that we can keep seeing like the trends because like I know I'm leaner,
Mhm.
but I don't want the mind games that come with like when you stay up too late or you get up too early or like you did way too much one day when really you should have rested. So um all the travel is done until I go to the Olympia now. So um it should be a lot more controllable from here through the show. We did just go to Pittsburgh. So we went Monday and came back Wednesday. And we filmed for the road to the Olympia, which is very exciting. And got feedback from Tyler and Etila. And
Erica.
yeah, I texted Amber like what they said, and my phone translated Etila to Erica. And Amber was like, "Who's Erica?" Like Erica doesn't matter.
Right. That was so funny.
But yeah, overall, things are going well. I don't know if we've done a podcast since I got cardio added.
No, we haven't. Nope. Talk about it.
So I got it added at, I guess, right after 5 weeks out. So I did cardio last week, and this is my second week of cardio.
Okay, so how does that feel, Alexis?
Um, it feels like I'm glad to be doing it. It feels good when I'm doing it, but like 30 minutes seems like a long time when I haven't been doing any. Like 15 minutes in, I'm like, when is this gonna end?
Yes. And I love that this whole process, it's just been a matter of, and the thing is, like, grateful for, previous coaching, learned so much, wouldn't be here without it. But I mean, I went through that too, and I had to transition to Jordan. It's basically unlearning everything that you learned and everything that you thought about your body. And it's exciting, but it's scary at the same time because, you're so used to doing things one way. And so to do something so drastic from what you had previously been doing, it can be mind
Yeah,
boggling.
it's mainly like uncomfortable in like the unfamiliarity than anything.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, it's working, so we're not complaining.
I don't know. How's your sleep been?
A little sketchy.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Hi.
Making an appearance. um, it's been okay. So I've been using the Descend. Let me see if I have some. The Descend gel caps from
Mhm.
Uprising. I've been using those for sleep. I used to take one, now I take two at nighttime. And trying to wind down a little bit more in the evening.
Mhm.
It's mainly like I have trouble falling asleep. Once I'm asleep, it's okay, but it's like my brain's on, like I'm tired, but my brain won't turn off. So then you're
Yeah.
just laying there, and like for me, it just makes me irritated and like makes me mad. So there's been a couple nights where I'm like lay down and try to go to sleep and can't, and I just get up and go to the living room and
Yeah.
like sit for a little bit, 30 minutes or so, and then come back and try again. Because if I just keep laying there, it's just gonna like start spiraling of like make me more mad and like frustrated and like I should be sleeping right now.
Yes, absolutely. I haven't taken that descend since that one night. I didn't handle it very well. I did not handle it very well. And Alexa, she's like, "Didn't I tell you to take it and lay down?" I was like, Shh, you won't lying."
So I compare it to like um because so kratom in lower doses is more of like almost like a stimulant. It helps with focus, it helps with energy. And then in higher doses, it's more of a depressant, like will help you go to sleep and help you rest. But it also, like to me, feels like when you take a Delta 8 gummy.
Okay, see, I've been Delta 8 free for over a year now.
Well, yeah, that's why I said take it and lay down because I don't like the
Yeah.
feeling of Delta 8 either. So if I
Okay.
use those, I do take those and lay down as well. So I don't
Okay.
want to feel it. I just want to go to sleep.
Delta 8 does not make me feel that way.
Oh,
I okay, this is the only thing that I could think of, and this is just my experience. Everybody is different. I have never done shrooms or ayahuasca before, but I am pretty sure that's what it feels like because I was just like I was sweating, my heart was beating. I thought I was gonna vomit. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this
oh
ever
wow.
again. Yeah, like
Okay, no, I
I,
didn't.
I
I've not felt that.
yeah, I was down bad. It was
Um,
not a fun experience.
that's interesting. Yeah, so definitely don't
Yeah,
do it then.
everybody, yeah, everybody's different. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't think I'm supposed to feel like that.
that might be like an outlier because I know like some people who will like smoke weed. I haven't,
Exactly.
but will like hallucinate or like
Yeah,
kind of have an
absolutely.
anxiety attack. So,
Yes.
um, interesting. Um, I don't think I've told my mushroom story on here.
No, you haven't. You haven't
No.
told me.
So, okay, guys. So, I don't experiment with like anything. Um, I've not smoked weed. Like that's how
Yeah,
much I don't touch. But last prep, um, you can like use shrooms like microdosing and it's supposed to help with
microdosing.
like mood and attitude and stuff. And you don't get like a high feeling at all. It just helps with mood.
Mhm.
Mainly is what like most people find. So Martin was using it and he was like, you should try this. It's like it comes in like a chocolate bar form. So, you like break off the squares and like one square is like a dose and it's like not enough to get you high. It's just enough to like adjust mood. So when I tried it, I was like, I'll take a fourth of a square. Like I don't if this makes me feel any kind of way, I want it to burn off very quickly. And it like I like ate it that morning and then later on in the day I was like, oh, I just haven't been as much of a piss. Like that's literally all. Is later on I was like, oh, I think it did help. Just kind of regulate mood. So I was using them. And he had like 3 bars. So it lasted a while where I'm only taking like a quarter or half of a square out of the whole bar. So I run out. So I go and I'm like, hey, where do you get those chocolate bars from? And he's like, you can get them at a smoke shop. So I have to go to Walmart. I go to the smoke shop right next door. I get 2 more bars, get
Good.
home, have me a piece. It's fine. It was like 2 different flavors. Um, so I had one of the cookies and cream. It was fine. That next morning, I tried the other one. It was like salted caramel, and
Mhm.
I had my normal amount. And we were actually filming a podcast. And as the podcast is going on, I'm like, something's not right. And I remember the chocolate bar was disgusting. So I was like, this flavor's gross. I don't want this one.
Yeah.
Um, and then like I make it through the podcast, but as it's going on, I'm like,
I'm not
something's not
cool.
right. And at first I was like, maybe I took too much kratom, but I
Uh,
took my normal amount. So like that's what I thought at first, because like my head was like fuzzy and stuff.
mhm.
And but then like so anyway, I get up and podcast is over. And I'm like, I gotta go lay down because I'm starting to feel nauseous. So go like am climbing in the bed, and Martin was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I was like, so white, and I was like, "I think I ate too much chocolate." And he was like, "Is your and you guys that are listening that do the shroom stuff know what
Uh,
I'm talking about?" I did not know that this was a thing because this was never my intention, and I'm never doing it again. But he was like, "Is your skin vibrating?" And I was like, that is in a perfect example of what I feel right now. Yes. And he was like, "Oh yeah, it's too much chocolate, too much of the shroom." So like I guess that happens when you like that is a sign that you are like getting high.
I would have lost it.
But like I think to like if you're doing it on purpose, it's supposed to be like in a controlled environment and you're like expecting for this to set in and stuff. No.
Yeah,
So like I didn't have any of the good high stuff, like no visions or any of that nonsense.
yeah.
It just made me feel like my brain didn't
Shake,
work.
shake
And
out now. Sorry.
so yeah, and then that lasted for a day and a half.
A day. See, absolutely not.
Yeah, and like I was
Absolutely
just
not.
mad because I'm like my like I had this whole free day after the
Yeah,
podcast. I had the entire day free, and I'm like, I'm glad I
get
didn't have
high.
person girls because I would have had to move them.
Yes, I wasted my
But
day being high.
oh yeah, I just wasted it in bed. Like only if I was laying flat did I feel okay. If I sat up or like drank water or anything, I felt so
Yeah.
nauseous. Um, so moral of
Don't
the
do.
story: I don't try stuff very often.
Mm-mm. And I'm the same way. It's just like again, everyone responds differently. Like I said, what the descent, I'm pretty sure that's what it's like to
Yeah,
be
so like
like.
with the chocolate stuff, I learned all in
Mhm.
all brands are not equal. So
Right.
like they say how much is in the bar, but it's not always distributed evenly between each square.
Correct.
So I probably just got a square with a crap ton of
Mhm.
shrooms in it, and that is how I got into that
See,
situation.
that is so funny because I was sitting on the sofa and I literally just felt like I was melting into my sofa and I could not move. And then that's when I text you and I was like,
No, that's not happened to me.
I don't know about this, fam. And then I stood up and I was just like, I'm about to throw up. And I don't know where Marilla was. And I just said, okay, I'm just going to go lay down. And I tried to lay down, but I think I was just getting so antsy that I
Yeah,
just got up and went to lay in the living room. And I just had to let that thing pass. And even the next day, I was still kind of like, So again, everybody's different.
I'm typically sensitive, and I haven't had any issues. So hopefully,
Yeah.
universe is an outlier.
Yeah, but then I'm probably an outlier. Like I said,
But
I
well,
had
you've used the gummies, and you like the
the
gummies.
gummies were fine. The gummies didn't do that to me. So I mean, I did what you said. You said
The
just bite
gummies are
it.
a lot less of a dose, so it might just be
Okay.
that you're super sensitive to it.
Probably. I mean, whatever,
Yeah,
Any
give those to Low or something.
Yeah, no, I said you can have this. He's like, "Ooh, okay, thanks." He's all about it.
My
What you
prexing
got?
last prep has been Pepsi Zero.
What?
Um, fun fact, my grand so you know how people I've never been like a I only drink Coke or I only drink Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like I know people who go to a restaurant, it's like, can I have a Coke? And they're like, we have
Mhm.
Pepsi products, and they're like, I'll have water. I'm
Yeah.
not that person.
Me neither.
Um, I've always preferred Pepsi over Coke, but like most of the people I'm around prefer Coke, so
Mhm.
I'll drink it. Like I don't dislike it. Um, but Martin likes Pepsi, so we've been getting Pepsi Zeros. And I like it because my grandma she would not drink Coke.
Mhm.
She only would drink Pepsi, and like regular Pepsi, not the zero. She would cuss me if I brought her a zero sugar something. um, but yeah, I like it because every time I pull one out, I think of her.
Oh.
Um, and I'm trying to think of any other like and then my other thing, maybe Martin will hear me talking about this and make me the salad. Um, because I don't know how to make it, but it's like um cherry tomatoes, cucumbers. I think he puts lemon juice in it, like garlic, and then some seasonings and stuff, and onion, and it's so good. It's like
It's
a cold salad.
Uh, those are so good. Lo does that too, and he makes like the lemon zest on it. And again, like I've watched him do it several times, and it's not complex. But then when I go to do it,
It's
just
not the same.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like almost the same thing. Like if I can't replicate anything that my mom makes, like my mom makes the best homemade from scratch chicken pot pie. And if I say, "Hey, mom, how do I do it?" She's like, I don't know how much. You just have to taste and see. And I'm like, well, then I'm not going to make it because I'm going to screw it up. It's very much that. And then, but the thing is, like a salad, when you're that close to show, it's just like, it's
Well, and
everything.
actually, so I have been really hungry lately since he added cardio. Like the cardio is doing its job, and I'm just starving.
Hmm.
So I made a like I used salad the other day because it's a little bit more voluminous. Um, No, it tore my belly up, so I'm not doing that
Mm,
anymore.
that's where you're
Um,
at now. Dang it.
yeah, like my it was like cramping and like making me gassy, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that again.
Mhm,
I'd rather
mhm.
just be hungry. Um, so
When do you leave for Vegas?
like I have to look at the calendar. Like 10 days, I leave the
Yeah.
30th. Um, so that's what I'm working on today is making sure I have like I got a carrier. Callie's gonna go with me, so I need to
Mhm.
make sure that she fits well in the carrier and everything because I got the smaller size so that it'll fit well under the seat. The benefit is that it's a direct flight. It's Southwest, so I'm gonna wake up. It's a 6 a.m. flight, so I'm gonna wake up the day before at the crack ass of dawn, so I can. Have you ever flown Southwest?
I have.
So then they don't have assigned seating.
Yeah.
So that I know that now. Like luckily Martin knew that in the last flight that we
Oh, okay,
took.
I
They
gotcha.
did it right. But even the last flight, like when I first opened the app, it wouldn't open, so I had to like close it and get back in. Just
Mhm.
that like extra 30 seconds had me like two groups behind Martin. And I
Oh
checked in
god.
like at the time that we like the 24-hour mark. So I just want to make sure that I am in the first group so I can get a good outside seat with
Yes.
Callie. Um, and make sure that and like towards the front of the plane so I can be one of the first people off.
Mhm.
And like I don't know exactly. I need to make her an appointment too so I can get her um some like doggy Xanax for the
For
flight.
sure. For sure.
Um, that's something that Brandy actually suggested because like flat-faced breeds, like their airway is a little congested
Oh,
anyway. So like the change of
yeah.
pressure might make her anxious, which will speed up her breathing, and I don't want her like having trouble.
That makes
Um,
sense.
like she's healthy, she's fine to fly, but like
Yeah.
something to keep her calm will keep her less anxious. Because she's kind of a little skittish anyway with loud noises and stuff, and you
Mhm.
never know what's going to happen on a plane, especially with people walking by you and stuff. So,
For sure.
um, yeah, so I'm just like organizing all of that stuff. I got my shirts. Should I
Yeah.
show my
Oh,
shirt?
yes, it looks so good. I can't wait to get mine.
They'll be on my Shopify. Let me turn this.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll have them up once this posts. So it'll be like live and working. But
They look so good. I love
Jake
it.
Jake designed it.
Jake is amazing. Shout out to Jake, man.
Yeah, Jake's very good.
Shout out to Jake.
I like paid for something on Fiverr,
Mhm.
um, and they're like, "Ah, it's fine, but I think Jake can do better." And I was like, "Okay, have at it."
Why didn't Jake you just do it in the first place then?
Well, I didn't want to like load him down with extra
I got
jobs when
you.
like that's
I
how I did it last year and it was fine. So I just like I didn't ask. I just went ahead and
I
like
see.
um but yeah, his was better than what I got on there.
Love that. What are you most excited about for this Olympia?
Um I think I'm more excited like I have no doubt that we will peak correctly.
Mhm.
Um, and I think up until like until recently, I think most of my anxiety has stemmed from like last year. My shows at the beginning of the year went really well, and then we went to the Olympia and we missed hard.
Mhm.
Um, so I didn't obviously don't want that to happen again. And I think that's what it was like rooted in. So then once I like let myself sit with that for a little bit, I'm like,
Very
I
good.
know we won't miss. You know, we haven't had any issues with peaking. We've done two shows.
Mhm.
We haven't had issues with getting to the appropriate conditioning. So I just kind of let that go. And now I'm just excited because I know I'm better than my last shows. And then especially seeing Tyler and Attila for the road to the Olympia this week, they just had really good things to say. And like they adjusted some of my poses, but they're not huge adjustments. It's kind of basically what I know. They just gave me better cues
Yep.
of how to sit into them appropriately and like completely relaxing my upper body. So at this point, I'm trying not to hold dumbbells at all.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I would do it like once or twice a week, do like um, Bulgarian split squats with holding dumbbells, but we're not even trying to do that. So keep my upper body as atrophied as possible as we can. And then I guess the other last like big change is I am gonna be sprayed by Protan for the Olympia. Um, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything. Um, but Liquid Sunrays has had some inconsistencies in the color. And like we've talked about it last year, they fixed that issue. But then I did have a weird thing going on with it at Toronto. It didn't affect my placing, but it still was off. And
Mhm.
then since then, I've seen competitors with their tans that are inconsistent with the coloring, and it's something that I can. And like I was sprayed by Protan this season at Miami, so while I don't love how Protan's tan is a little stickier, it's just like the way that their solutions compounded is just a different feel on the skin. It takes a little longer to dry, but ultimately the color on stage is what matters. So um, that I guess is the biggest other change that I haven't really like. It's not really something to announce, but
Yeah, no. Well, no, I mean, I've noticed it too, just on the back end of doing stage glam with some athletes, like at various shows. And I had an athlete at the last show that I was at. She was like, "Does my tan look kind of weird?" And I didn't think it looked weird at first, but then as I started watching it, and I was like, I don't know.
yeah, like um, I think it's just hard, especially like the tans are different.
Yeah,
And I don't dislike it on my skin, but if most competitors are with Protan and are sprayed by Protan, then the liquid sun rays can look different. It does look different most of the
that's
time.
exactly what happened.
Um, and then with also the differences that I've just noticed recently, and like they're aware of it and they're
Mhm.
addressing it. I'm pretty sure that they have it under control at this point. So like if you've scheduled your tan with them, I would not worry. But my personal experience is what I'm basing this on. So
Yeah,
um, I just want to make sure that this one's controlled, and then I can reassess after the Olympia. But the Olympia is not something that I'm willing to take a gamble on. And the truth is that Protan's the sponsoring tanning company. Most people are going to be in their color. So
yeah, and that's what I tell athletes too. Is like, I get it, I understand it 100%, but I would always, if I were getting sprayed, go with the host just simply because if the host has something screwy going on, everyone collectively is going to look weird versus just you stick out like a sore thumb. So I think that's a smart move, and that's also like something to think about too, you guys, when it's a big one, like you're getting on the Olympia stage, or maybe it's your last, national show of the season. Like those are little details that can make a huge difference. And so you have to ask yourself, okay, I don't want to risk anything for this one. Let me just check the easy box and do what I know is going to look best on stage.
yeah, it's definite. Like it's something that I've debated since Toronto because like
Mhm,
we noticed it after prejudging that like something's a little bit off. We didn't notice it until then, but like standing next to the other girls, I had this greenish color.
mhm.
Um, and then it was like Martin is sponsored by Protan, so he was like, "You need to rinse off, and we can get the other company to spray you." Blah blah blah. And I was like,
Mhm. Mm.
I mean, you guys know I'm a realist. I'm like prejudging already happened.
Yeah, I
And
caught it.
it's like for me, it was going to be more stressful to rinse off, go
Yeah.
hunt down the other company, ask them to spray me, let it dry, all
Mhm.
while not messing up my hair and makeup. Um, so we didn't do that, and it ultimately didn't affect my placing, but like it was something that we noticed. It's something that I can see in photos, and I
Yeah.
sent it to Amber. I sent it to Olivia, and like I'm not the only person who notices it.
Mhm.
And even Boss on the stream kind of noticed it. So it's not something I want noticed at the Olympia.
No, not at all. Cause it was so funny. Cause like, by yourself, I was like, "Oh, you're fine," but then, like, when I see you next to other girls, I was
Yeah, it was
like,
very
"No, it's
interesting.
getting green." Yeah.
Um, so I'm not sure what the little
Yeah.
issues were there, and I'm not gonna not use them in the future, but it feels like a current situation that I want to avoid.
Absolutely. And I still need to do that, how to tan, because when I do DIY, I do pro tan, and I've never had an issue with it. But I'll say it's till the end of time. If you are fair skinned, I just don't think it's a good idea to tan yourself.
No,
It's
especially
too much
because y'all, even
hair.
with Pertan, I have to get 3 layers,
Yeah.
and that's when they're spraying me.
Yeah.
So like it's and that was something like the process that I wanted to avoid was like liquid sun rays tended to go on darker, but like that's not always better. I'm seeing. So like you have to be prepared, and if you are fair skinned, there's no way you need to be doing DIY. And if your coach says you have to, it's just
It's not.
no.
I can't remember what show it was. It was a national show, and a girl walked in, and I was finishing up one athlete. And she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna finish up my tan." I was like, "Okay, do your thing." And I looked at her, and like just the splotchiness. She was fair skinned. The splotchiness on the back of her legs, and I just stopped her and I said, "Start over." Or go downstairs and get sprayed because this doesn't look good. And like her poor little face, but I mean, she couldn't have gone on stage the way she did because it looked horrible.
No. And it's like, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
truth.
Yeah,
Like I
no,
just
well,
had a call with a client the other day, and she's considering switching coaches and or a potential client. Um, and I like tell people like I will root you on when you're like things are improving and you're doing well and like
mhm,
things are going in a positive direction, but I'm also going to call you out on the inconsistencies or the things that we can improve on. And it might sting a little bit, but why would you want me to only be your cheerleader? And that's kind of like her scenario is her current coach is a super cheerleader and she's like, but where can I can improve? Like, you
yeah,
know, and I think everyone like needs someone to approach them differently. Like everyone's receptive to different styles, but
mhm,
you also can't just have someone only blowing your head up because then you get into a scenario where you get on stage and you're shocked because you're not as good as everyone around you told you you
mhm,
are.
mhm.
And that is not a good feeling.
It's not, and that's the thing, we put so much time and hard work and effort in this, like, you don't want someone just telling you any and everything. Like, I had a situation with the athlete, I did her hair and makeup for a show, and I just simply didn't like her hair. I didn't like her hair, I did not like the brand of extensions that she had, and I felt a way about it. I was very disappointed because first of all, it's like, put me to the side, like, I want the athlete to look the best on stage. But then, secondly, that's still my name on stage. So when she followed back up and asked if I could do her glam again for the next show, I had to be honest with her. I was like, hey, I'm going to keep it a buck. I did not like the way that your hair turned out. I know for me personally, that was not to my standard. Here's what I need in order for your hair to look appropriate because you're going for a pro card. So we need to do things the right way. And she was like, "Oh my God, thank you for being honest with me. Like, what do I need to do?" And so it's just kind of like, there's be honest, be honest. And she ended
Yeah.
up getting her pro card on that second show. So you don't want anyone just gonna blow steam up your behind. And then like I know for me, like on the artistry side, like if I don't like something and I've done it, I'm going to say, this is not satisfactory. Let's fix this, or next time I'm going to comp this, or we're gonna do X, Y, and Z. Like I have no problems doing that.
Um, when do you get into Vegas?
I get into Vegas that Wednesday.
It's very exciting.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm finally now like excited. I have been just so exhausted just from like the run of July and August, which I'm grateful for, but like that traveling life every weekend, every other weekend, it was hard. And then also too just the battle of I realized I had just been very disappointed with how this year has not gone at all how I wanted it to go. Like nothing bad has happened, but it's like we plan our year out, right? It's like, okay, I want to be able to do this at this time. And basically, nothing has gone the way that I had planned. But I also understand at the end of the day, God's in control. He has a plan. So now I'm just kind of like, you know what, Amber? Just it is what it is. It's not the end of the world. And so just due to just like the constantly being going and going and going and then, just personal life things happening, I feel like now I'm finally at a place to where I can be excited about the Olympia. And then what got me so excited is like my friends are competing. My friends are competing. I'm just kind of like I had a moment when I think when was it? I think when I was coming back from Arizona, and I was like, my friends are the top athletes in the world. No pressure. No freaking pressure. So I'm so excited for y'all. I'm going through my mind right now just thinking about everybody's look. I need for my people to like start to kind of give me ideas of what suit colors y'all are going to do. I know me you and I have talked, but I need to talk to the other girls, see what they're thinking, but that's honestly what I'm mostly excited about for the Olympia. I like seeing my friends compete.
Yeah, it's gonna be very exciting. I'm going by Alexis Nicole still, so like I'll end up in the middle of the pack, which will be
Oh, you're
a
switching.
different experience. Which I mean, that's what I was this season, like for my other shows.
Yeah.
But like the Olympia last year, I was second on stage for wellness.
Mhm.
Um, but I kind like so rewind a little bit. In pageants, they went by last name also, and I always liked falling in the middle.
Mhm.
I felt like it like kind of gave the judges, I felt like it was the fairest spot to be judged in.
Yeah.
And that might be some a little bit of superstition, but like my thought always, and like there's no truth to this as far as like nobody's
No.
told me this. This is just my experience and opinion. But I feel like the judges are harshest on the first couple girls. And then they have a like a standard of like, okay, this is what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
And then the middle is like you're being compared to who already has been on, you know? It like when you're doing routines. And then like everyone's kind of warmed up, the judges are warmed up, the crowd is warmed up.
Mhm.
Everyone's like more open and cheering and stuff, so it's a better vibe. And then the end of the lineup is like everyone's like, okay, we're ready for call outs.
It's like, hurry it up already.
You know, so I'm not
Yeah.
mad that I'll fall like right in the middle.
Yeah, the most nerve-wracking thing for me, like the thing is, like y'all know, like show day for me, like I'm working on being excited for show day, but I want y'all to understand, like, I'm not nervous to be on stage. Being on stage, that doesn't no. It's just like all the chaos that goes on the morning of before show. That's what like gives me the nervous. But what does get me is that first initial when you're getting ready to go on stage for the comparisons, when they're just kind of looking to see that is when I'm like the most like, holy crap. But then it's kind of like once my feet have touched the stage and I can feel how to move, after that, I'm cool. But it's just that initial, like, what does the stage feel like? And that's why I love when they started switching it to where they do the comparisons, like to see everybody first before the individual routine, because
Yes.
you get to feel the stage. You
And
get
you're
to see
warmed
the
up a
body.
little bit and like starting to see the
Yeah,
judges. Yeah.
exactly. Versus just going out there
Oh.
cold.
And then the other thing is I'm wearing glasses right now, but you guys know I got contacts.
Ah,
So I have asked Lindsay to remind me to put my contacts in before I go get makeup because it's not gonna it'll be a disaster if I have to put
no,
them in after makeup.
no.
Especially with lashes on, there's no way. Because it still like takes me a couple tries before I actually get it in, and my eyes tear, and like I'm
I would literally do it for you if that was because Alexis hold still. It's going in.
but I need to start wearing them more consistently now. I have gotten more used to them to where like I can wear them for a full day.
Did you
Obviously
have them
though,
in Miami? I can't remember.
no,
In Toronto, you didn't have them
I
either?
got them after Toronto.
Okay, so you haven't worn them on stage yet. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. So, when Martin had his, because you and Lo talked about like the lights might make me super
Yeah, I
sensitive and
can't wear
stuff.
mine on stage.
I wore them. I did awards at the Denver show that we went to. Um, And when I was backstage, I remembered you said that, so I was like, "Well, we're about to see," and it was
Yeah,
completely fine.
good.
So hopefully it'll be fine. If not, I'll have someone help me take them out after
Yeah.
prejudging. But I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, everybody's different. For me, I was just like, what? Like I went completely blind, but also every stage is different. I know that was Junior USA's,
Where like
and
the lights are shining straight at you. So like
man, those
the
were beautiful.
prejudging at the Olympia, it's like a big bright open room.
Hmm.
So like I know last year and like at the Arnold, I don't get that same light effect. At
Hmm.
prejudging at finals, it will be because it's like a different setup and there are the lights.
Right.
Um, but it's the lights in a dark room is what throws me off because they like spare and then I'm
Okay.
blinded.
See, for
Um,
me, it's just like that straight on, boom, heavy hitting light. I'm like, I can't see
as
nothing.
long as the whole room is light, I'm usually
You're
pretty
good.
fine.
Yeah.
And I can see decently, but it's the astigmatism that's gotten worse. So like the light sparing is what I can't. The judges are right behind the lights, so I can't
Hmm.
see them, and that just I know some people don't like eye contact with the judges. If you see my pictures, my head is always like this because I'm like
Yeah.
they're my attention.
I looked at them because that's all I could see. I'm like, I can't see nobody else. So here we are.
Yeah, and I don't really want to find anybody in the audience.
Oh, that makes me so nervous. I can't remember what show it was. I looked up and immediately I saw Murillo and he was like, I was like, no, 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 no. I can't look at you. You were the last person to
Well,
look
if I
at.
break eye contact from the judges, I look at the camera.
Hmm.
Like the camera's usually like center behind the judges.
Yeah.
Um, so at Miami, I did that, and like I could hear Martin. I could tell the direction that he was at because
Mhm.
he's loud. Um, but I look up, and he's sitting literally right beside Gilko. Like
Yeah.
they have a couple chairs there. It's Gilko, Martin, and I was like, of course.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the other thing that makes me nervous on stage is I can always hear Murillo because he doesn't yell. He never raises his voice. So I can hear him and then he's cheering loud, but he's also cheering in Portuguese. So I'm just kind of like, you are the only thing I can hear right now, and I am nervous.
Yeah, so I like hearing it. I just don't always want to make eye contact because
Yeah.
I very much read faces. So like I don't
Hmm.
want to see what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Like I don't want if you're like work if someone else is doing better, I'm gonna be able to read it on your face, and I
Yeah.
don't want to see that. But like the cheering, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can always hear Lo, I can always hear Jordan, and I can always hear you because you're always gonna give me a "yes, ma'am," and I'm like, "Okay, I'm killing it. I'm killing it." If I hear the "yes, ma'am," I know I'm doing good. And if your friends don't cheer for you while you're on stage, you need to get new friends.
Yeah.
Let's see, there was something else too. I can't remember. Nope, I lost it. I don't know. That's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope, that's my babble for today.
All right, y'all, that's all we got. Alexis is 3 weeks out. We're gonna do our best with these next coming weeks, just simply because life and she's in prep. So if we don't get, I'm gonna try to see if I can get a solo episode next week, or I have an idea for a guest that I would want to bring on. I know you said you had an idea for your guest that you wanted to bring on as well. So
Yeah.
either way, just be on the lookout and exercise some grace. What's your schedule for posing? I'm sure is probably like tight
It's
right
getting
now.
skimpy. This week's full. Next week there's some morning and evenings. And then I don't have anything open for while I'm in Vegas. I'll really keep that to my girls that are in prep and have regularly been posing. And then I can do like brand new girls after the Olympia. So if you're listening and you are one of my girls and you haven't booked, you need to message me your book. Because I'm not going to be adding extra. I'm really trying to limit my schedule at this point. It's having too many tasks in one day is starting to stress me out. So I'm reducing that.
Yeah,
So if you're not on top of it, it's not my problem.
that that part. She said what you
Love
said.
you guys.
Yeah, no, with love. And then let me see. I had some girls cancel for Daytona Pro, so I do have a couple of spots available for Daytona Pro. I don't have anything available for Olympia. And then after that, oh, Mid Atlantic Classic in Charlotte. That's my favorite show because that's the first show I've ever done. I have some spots available for that, and then we're getting down to the wire for nationals, and that'll be the last show of the year. So hit me up, Stage Glam, Alexis for posing. Don't wait till the last minute, and we'll chat with y'all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.